Welcome to our cozy conversation
Yeah, on the couch.
on the couch.
And this is our last one of the year. It's like gone by already so fast. Yeah, and we're talking about breathing into the holidays, the winter holiday season.
Yeah. And so, winter holiday season, it's so jam-packed with emotion.
It is. It's
And
that time of year.
Things that I
Stuff
can
to do.
feel overwhelming.
It can. The to-do list is just like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, it can grow.
It can grow. And so, what we'd like to guide you through is this time, which can be very joyous and happy. We want to keep it that way, and we want to prevent any flare-ups or exacerbations that sometimes come with everything that's going on in this time of year.
Yeah, it's a pretty dynamic time of year. Things are out of your ordinary. Schedules are all over the place. Emotions can be flying high. That alone can impact your breathing.
Yes.
So let's find some ways that we can help you breathe easily into these winter holidays.
Absolutely. And as always, we do have a way.
We thought it up.
We thought it up. But
Actually, we didn't create it up. We're drawing on some techniques
yes.
from pulmonary rehabilitation. If you've taken a pulmonary rehabilitation program, you've hopefully learned about the 4 P's.
4 P's of energy conservation.
4 P's.
Yes. Kind of sounds like peace.
I mean, we thought it sounded like peace, so the 4 P's to bring you peace.
This holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just kind of getting back to why we're talking about this. So we mentioned that we want to try and prevent flare-ups, and we just wanted to provide a reminder. So a flare-up or an exacerbation is a worsening of your breathing condition that persists. It's a change that you experience. You have a change in symptoms. They could be worsening shortness of breath, more cough, more mucus, or different color mucus. And so this is really important, not only to notice this flare-up, but to really try and prevent it.
Yes. Flare-ups can lead to a worsening of your lung condition. They are known to lead to cardiac events and strokes within a year after having an exacerbation. So avoiding and preventing an exacerbation should be a high priority if you have a chronic lung condition.
Yes.
So we're going to use the 4 P's to help guide you through this holiday season.
Yes.
And hopefully avoid an exacerbation.
That's right.
And we've narrowed it down to 2 sort of categories that we're going to address these 4 P's with. And those categories are activity, stuff going on, and food. Because that's a pretty common challenge.
That's a big one around the holiday season for many reasons, which we'll delve into. So if we take our first P,
Yeah.
prioritize, let's see if we can apply this to both activity and eating.
Yeah. All right. So let's kick it off with activities and prioritizing. So prioritizing activities, or what to prioritize. So you decide for you which activities you want to prioritize over the holidays. You've lived through many of these holiday seasons before. You know what might get you going, things that can cause anxiety, and which activities you just love and you wouldn't want to go through the holidays without. So pick those activities that are important to you, whether it's spending time with friends and family, maybe it's certain activities you want to get to. Prioritize the certain situations, and maybe it means saying no.
That's right.
To other people.
Which can be really hard to do, setting those boundaries. But you are the most important person to you here. So we get to be a little bit selfish and choose for ourselves the things that we value and the things that we don't. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to reschedule. It's okay to set boundaries. And that's a whole lesson in and of itself. But for this first P, prioritize, you are prioritizing you.
Yep. And for some people, the holidays can be quite a lonely season, actually. And so we're talking about, it's maybe feeling busy or overwhelming, but it might be feeling overwhelming if you have some time alone. So if you want to prioritize not being alone, reach out to people. This does fall on you, right? Reach out to your community, your church group, those long lost family or friends you've been out of touch with. If you want to spend some time with people, it's up to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I should say, we at Poplar have built an online community, and so maybe it's these online communities as well that you're valuing and prioritizing.
Totally.
Yeah.
So find what's important to you, write it down, get an old school piece of paper, use your iPad, whatever you want.
Write it down.
Write it down. What's your priority? So that when you are making plans, you can make sure that you have the time and energy for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then food in terms of priorities.
Mm-hmm. A little harder to do, I feel.
Yeah,
There's so many good, traditional meals or foods or things you like to eat around the holidays. And,
totally.
Yeah.
But you can be pick and choose here.
Yes.
So is it that Christmas ham? Is it that holiday turkey you just can't do without? For me, it's the gravy and stuffing. I don't care as much about the turkey, but I really want the gravy and stuffing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it the snacks? Are you all about the snacks?
So, we know that what we eat is very connected to living with a lung condition, whether it be through reflux or overeating. So we've chosen this topic to kind of reflect on those things, again, that are important to you, that you really value this time of year, that you want to eat. And you should be able to eat it. You should be able to enjoy it. But we are going to prioritize those items and maybe deprioritize other items.
Yep. So still aiming for sort of moderation here. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean you can't have the splurges here and there. So we're planning we're prioritizing what's important to us, and once we've done that, we're going to head for the second P, which is planning. So plan to put those priority items first.
Yeah. And that's true for eating and activity, but if we take activity first, we want to kind of think ahead about what our holiday season sort of looks like and really plan it out. So logistic wise, what does it look like in terms of equipment you might need, like traveling with oxygen or having your action plan medications handy? It's trying to put yourself ahead of time, plan all these things out, so should you experience a change, you're feeling ready.
Yep. And plan to spend your time with the people and doing the things that mean the most to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And then in terms of eating,
planning food, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you end up being the one who's doing all the cooking? Maybe you don't want to be. Plan it out. Just be clear with people and tell them, you know what? I'm not doing the turkey this year, or whatever it is. I'll show up with some carrots.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to host. Hosting is a whole other ball of wax, right?
And then in terms of energy conservation, you might want to do a little meal prep or a little meal planning so you can kind of make your grocery lists, get all the things you need in maybe one go instead of multiple trips to the grocery store if that doesn't work out for you in terms of energy and trying to prevent fatigue.
Yeah, and when you do plan out your energy, if you want to spend your energy during those busy week or two being with people and spend your energy there, you might plan to cook a dish that you can cook in advance and maybe freeze and then just thaw it out and bring it the week of. So it doesn't all have to happen the way you may always have done it.
Yes, that's right. There are little tips and tricks, ways around it.
Yeah. All right, moving on to P number 3. Pace. No, not the salsa. Pace.
Slow our roll. And there's lots of reasons why we want to slow our roll around this time of year. It is a cozy season too, so we might naturally have a bit of that. But we really want to do something within our body. And what we want to do is we want to tap into our calm, controlled nervous system. The nervous system that helps us to breathe easy, take big full breaths, helps to bring down our anxiety, our feeling of overwhelm, and we can do that when we slow things down.
Yeah, so it's another P. That's our parasympathetic nervous system,
Yeah.
and it's the rest and renew pathway. So, yeah, pace yourself out. Maybe, when you're planning activities, that might mean, you can only do an activity for a certain amount of time. So, ask people, when do I really need to be there? Show up for that, and then go find your peace alone if that's how you regenerate.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you do activities every second day, or you can only do 1 or 2 a week. Let people know what that is. Figure out in advance so you can plan to pace.
Planned pace. Yeah. And even if things catch you off guard, let's say you had like a super busy, active morning, then you can make that choice then to make your afternoon a bit of a rest afternoon.
Yeah, plan those rest breaks and the downtime in there so that you can plan to pace. Yeah.
The other way to plan to pace, especially in terms of energy conservation, is something called spoon theory. So kind of thinking of, how many little spoons of energy do I have for this day?
Yep.
Kind of think about it in the morning when you wake up.
Yep, do that self-assessment.
Yeah.
Am I feeling
Yeah.
good? Lot of spoons.
A lot of spoons, lots of energy,
Good.
feeling good.
Yes. I'm feeling tired, like I don't want to roll out of bed this morning. Maybe not so many spoons.
Not so many spoons, yeah. And then as you do your activities, you might pre-plan your spoons. Well, I know I've got to do this, this, and this. That might take me, 4 spoons or whatever it is. And then you kind of know how much you have left and helps to guide in planning those rest breaks.
So even within the day, you can prioritize, plan, and pace as well as the overall holiday season.
Yeah.
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 And then food, pace with food. Do pace yourself. I am a proud slow eater. All my friends know this. Is Tina still eating?
I can vouch for it.
Yeah. That's true. I love to eat though. So I find that chewing slowly, eating slowly allows me to really savor the food, the flavors, and the textures. But there's also a lot of health benefits, like chewing slower and eating slower lets you hit that feeling of satiety sooner, that feeling of fullness. So it's most likely that you won't overeat the slower you eat. And then it also helps with digestion. So chewing your food more thoroughly is better for your digestion as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so all of this kind of goes back to, again, the idea of acid reflux. So all of the tips Tina just mentioned can help to reduce the incidence of acid reflux, having food move through instead of potentially regurgitating up and potentially aspirating into the lungs. And like we mentioned off the top, many of you living with chronic lung conditions do have this connection to acid reflux and maybe on medications on it for already. And then the other thing with eating and pacing is the overeating. So remembering that our stomach sits very close to our diaphragm, our big breathing muscle. And so the more food we physically have in our stomach, that can push up on that diaphragm and make the breathing mechanics a little bit wonky. So you may feel like you're a little more breathless, like you can't get that big breath in. And that has to do just with your
eating a big meal.
Eating a big meal.
Yeah. So pacing out the food, right? Don't have one big meal. Maybe you do want to snack a little bit. Try to prioritize healthy food.
Yeah.
And also picking foods that do not cause acid reflux. So give that a quick look up before you go into the holidays, because there might be foods that you don't normally eat and you might not realize that they can make the regurg worse.
And it's all the good things.
Yeah, it's good things.
The chocolate and the alcohol.
Yeah.
And the citrus.
Yeah, the tiny based stuff. Yeah.
But we can work around it.
You can work around it, and it's just a matter of, have little bits of it, right? And maybe don't eat too much of it before bed either. Earlier in the day so that it can get digested would be better.
So speaking of end of day and resting, we've come to our fourth P. Position.
Yeah. So we're still on food, so why don't we cover that first? So positioning and food. So as we talk about GERD or reflux, acid reflux, it's worse when you lay down or when your head is lower. So sitting up after a meal, allowing for digestion is a good thing. and eating close to bedtime is a bad thing. So you want to eat earlier if possible. We know you don't always have control over that, but if you know you're going to be going somewhere or with people where the meal is later in the day, maybe you're planning to stay up a little bit, be up and seated, hang out, have a nice relaxing slow evening so that you're not eating and then going to bed on a full stomach. Or maybe you plan to eat less at that meal.
And that time from eating to lying down can be anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. So it's a big chunk of time you want to leave for digestion. Yeah.
And then positioning for all your activities.
Yeah. So we know that there are certain positions that when we want to tap into that calm, better breathing pathway, we can use these body positions to help us breathe a little easier. So things like leaning just a little bit more forward.
Sitting tall, leaving room for that belly to move freely as your diaphragm moves as you take those deep breaths.
Dropping shoulders down the back, so creating a lot of space between your ear and your shoulder, relaxing those small muscles of breathing in the neck, back, and shoulders.
And then sitting. It does take more energy to stand up than sitting, and if you're feeling short of breath in the moment, sitting down to just reduce your energy expenditure in that moment can help. So if you're going somewhere where you're not sure if there's going to be plenty of seating for people, or if you end up at a kitchen party where everyone's standing, maybe bringing a walker with a chair, like a seat on it, or telling people, look, I need to sit down, right? I need to have a chair available for myself. Just tell people what you need, right? Don't be embarrassed or shy about it. It's better to be happy and not feel shortness of breath and sit down if you need to.
Absolutely. So we have gone through prioritizing, putting you first, planning out your holiday season or even planning out your days during the holiday season, pacing, slowing the roll, and positioning. So these are the 4 P's that can really help you through your holiday season to prevent flare-ups or exacerbation.
Yep, awesome. And don't forget your mask just in case someone does have a cough around you. You do want to protect yourself. That's the 4th. That's a 5th P. Protect. Protect. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Yes, all those things to kind of prevent infection during this time of year. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we can be with people safely.
Yeah.
And so we would like to wish you a very happy holiday and a happy new year as you go into this holiday season.
Enjoy it all. Enjoy every moment. And we'll see you next time.